Hi, beautiful people. Hope you are doing well and keeping safe. My name is Sianoki, and it's always a pleasure to have you here. So, my neighbor gave me this cassava a very long time ago. When I checked on the details of this video, I filmed it 12th January 2021. How amazing. Yes, so when she gave me the cassava, I didn't want to use this immediately. So I am coming to share with you how I store my cassava when I do not want to use that immediately. Shout outs to Amina. Thank you so much for this cassava. So I go ahead and peel this and I scrape it. Now, traditionally, if you are brought up in a very typical traditional home, we peel our cassava not on a chopping board. So it's actually very difficult for me to do this on a chopping board, okay, but that is how we are used to clean our cassava. In case you are a bit nervous about this, just know that it is safe and then I'm able to cut it like that. Okay, so basically that is it. You see, when I'm trying to do it on the chopping board, I'm just struggling. So once I'm done cutting this, I'll just go ahead and wash this thoroughly. And then initially what I did with this was to line them up on this tray. I kept them in my freezer, and after they were frozen, I bagged them, okay. But then 2 months ago I did this again, and I did this differently. I felt like that was an easier method, so I'll be focusing more on that. So after washing the cassava, I lined my tray with my tissue paper, and then I am putting my cassava on them. The whole idea is for the tissue paper to absorb all the water from washing this cassava. Okay, when you do it this way, the whole idea of lining this up on the tray for the water to drain is because when it freezes, we don't want the cassava to stick together. If there is water around the cassava, you realize that it will stick together when it's frozen, but we want them to be individual pieces. Okay, so that is how I store it. Now this is a couple of weeks after I'm now ready to use this, and then I take it from the freezer, straight from the freezer, and then I add it to my boiling water. So this is how I go about it when I'm cooking it for fufu or something. And you can use the same method for any tuber at all, for yam, for plantain, any tuber at all that you want. Okay, so make sure that the water is boiling. You add it to it right from the freezer. Don't let it thaw. You don't let it thaw, and then your cassava will be as fresh as it was when you got it. Okay, if the cassava is no good, sometimes you have cassavas that generally they are not good. If it's not good, it will just not be good after this. Yeah, so in case your cassava is not good, it's not because you kept it in the freezer. Now this is another way that you can use this. Now this method, you let this thaw. Okay, so when it thaws, it becomes very soft, and then you can actually even use your hand to break it up. And then I'm going to use this for banku. So I blend this my cassava dough, so like sort of replacing cassava dough. And then I'm adding my corn dough. I have a recipe on how I make the corn dough, so kindly check it out. And then I use it for my banku. So of late I've actually been using this method for banku instead of getting cassava dough. Since I make my own corn dough, I'll rather let my cassava from the freezer thaw, and then I use it. So this day when I was preparing the banku, I was out of banku rubber. You see, we hear a lot of people saying that, oh, banku rubber is not healthy. I don't know other alternatives that we have, but then I'm using plantain for this, and it was just so stressful putting this together in a plantain leaf, like so stressful, you guys. And people say it's not healthy, and they'll be using it in their homes too. Anyway, so anything that requires that you blend your cassava before you use it. You can just let it thaw and use it. That way it doesn't even put a lot of pressure on your blender. So something like tapioca starch, your gari, whatever it is that needs blending, you can use this method. Thank you so much for watching. Kindly like this video and subscribe. Thank you.